Good morning. This episode of the Business Babble is proudly sponsored by Danes Accounting, your number one accountant based in Dunfermline. Give them a shout out. Find them at www.danes.com, and it's DAINS.com.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
Oh, bilingual no less.
Bilingual. I also speak Scottish as well. All right in that, Kenny. You know, that's when you're away abroad and you're talking to people and you go, why don't they understand me? I'm English. But they'll say, oh, where are you from? And it's like, I'm from Scotland. But you just don't realise how fast you talk. And then put your dialect in. Wicus, are you okay, son?
Yeah.
Go on,
Sneeze, man. Sorry.
I thought it was the start of a cry.
I was going to cry.
He's like, the painter is emotional. I'm here all day.
No. It is interesting, though, when you go to different places. Have you ever just walked around and just listened out, and then you hear somebody in your own dialect, and you go, oh, it's so nice. You feel a little bit warm in the heart.
Yes, it's nice, but it's also cringy.
I was going to say, sometimes you just cringe.
Is that what we sound like?
So,
No, it's like, ooh, embarrassing.
But I must admit, when I go on holiday, the accent I'm most attracted to, because I can just see, oh, there's my new friend, Glaswegians. They're on the same level. There's no obnoxiousness. There's no, I'm better than you. It's just, there's my tribe. I'm going to play darts. I'm going to get a couple of pints. We can rip the mickey at each other. This is a good day. That's a good person to hang about with. So there you go. So, is that a segue into finding the right tribe? Finding the right people?
Could be.
I mean, you, business now, I mean, a lot of people are finding their way around things just now, navigating around the difficulties that are out there. Have you ever thought about looking at the people you're hanging about with, the people in your business? Look for these other businesses that are doing quite well on the surface. Find out what they're doing. Maybe befriend them, get a coffee with them, be interested in them. Would that sound fair enough?
bit of a plan, maybe.
Plan?
I mean, go on, sorry.
So Wicus, let's look at you, your business.
I think what we need to do is we need to look at ourselves here at the Business Babble.
Correct.
Because we've been doing this now for a year, and we really want to grow. Okay, so for the listeners, we've been sitting here having some really difficult conversations with one another about what's working and what's not working. And the truth is, we're starting to look at the data because we don't understand what's working and what's not working. If we had to be brutally honest with ourselves, we don't understand what's working, what's not working. We can see certain trends and patterns where we are growing in business, but it's not consistent. So for us, it's a little bit of a back to basics campaign. And I think if you look at back to basics, the customer is king. So who is our customer? Who is our client at the end of the day? And what do we sell? Those are our starting points. And I think when you've lost your way in business and things are a little bit more up and down, up in the air, there's a little bit more turmoil, a lot of white noise around you, it's very quick to lose sight of who your customer is and what products and services he comes to you, because it's not what you sell. Don't make that mistake. It's never the products, because there's 500 electricians, 500 letting agents, 7,000 painters. Why do they come to you? 12 million joiners. Why do they come to an all trades business? Why do they come to a letting company? Why do they do that?
But that's why when you've got these businesses, you need to be asking, what made you come to us? And you're trying to find their order value. It could have been on Google, recommendation, a senior number on a phone box, whatever it may have been, or a senior brand. I just liked it. So it's just really interesting because you need to know where they're coming from in order to sell to that area of people, if that's a really ideal client that comes into your shop or whatever.
And you do need to ask. Like, it's amazing how people just don't ask for whatever reason. But every customer, even just somebody phoning up for a bit more information, is where did you hear about us?
Or more importantly, where are you based? Because what you really want to do is you want to create a mental picture of what your client looks like.
So we were talking this morning about the podcast. So to give people an idea, because you can use it's all relative to your business as well. How old's our client?
Yeah. So
When are they going to be listening to the podcast? What do they actually like? What's their flavour basically of choice?
So what's their lifestyle, their attitude? How do they behave? So we want to look at the first one you mentioned is demographics. So that's male, female, age, that type of thing. The second thing you want to look at is location, because we want to be global. So whatever we talk about needs to appeal to a global audience. But we also want to have a look at their behaviors. Behaviors are really, really important, because how often do they listen? When is the best time for them to listen? Do they actually download the episodes? Do they go back? Do they go forward? And then what is their sort of attitude to lifestyle? What does their lifestyle look like? Is it go, go, go all the time? When do they have downtime? Do you find that they download everything and then they listen to it on holiday? Because your idea is, if you've got what a good client looks like, if you understand what he looks like, you just need to match your products and services to them. Because not everybody's going to buy your product and your services. And that then led us to thinking about, well, what are we actually selling? So a little bit of knowledge, some fun, some entertainment, education.
Also, edutainment.
Oh, look at those combination of words.
You can't forget that, but it's also, you're selling education, fun, all these things, and knowledge, and also a bit of motivation. Because there are times where I've watched podcasts and listened to podcasts, and they've been, what this girl taught me, the aha moments, Rebecca, saying the aha moments when you're listening to something, you go, oh.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just very, very simple. It's just you don't know what you don't know. But once we're creating the content, obviously we can see we've got content going out there and people are obviously enjoying it, but we want more people to enjoy it. So now we're looking at the length of a podcast.
Yeah, so we're going to start testing different things, but we don't do everything at the same time. And I think that's the risk that you have in business. You want to do everything at the same time. You need to take a phased approach. So we could very easily just not have this discussion and just bombard the internet with content. But the big question is, does our content resonate with the audience? Does your content, does your product, does your service resonate with the people you're trying to sell to? And that is I would say that is sort of the golden goose, because in any business, if you want to grow it, you need to find more customers. And how do you find more customers? You need to get on that journey. So how do they become aware of you? So that is our challenge at the moment, is awareness. Because how do more people become aware of us? How do more people know about us?
Well, sorry, go Mike.
I just got to say, well, let's just, because the listeners, some people, this might be quite new for them, but let's start breaking that down then. So let's get a roadmap. We're going to sit down now. What's the first stages that they need to be looking at, we need to be looking at?
So for us, we understand what we stand for as a business. Okay, so we've got a set of, let's call them core values. We're going to talk a little bit about that, because that's how we need to show up. But we need to get underneath the bonnet of the vehicle. And I think stage one is, let's call it customer definition. Understanding who our customer really is, who are we trying to talk to? Where are they based? Does our content resonate with them? We need to really understand our client. The second thing we need to do, so that's phase one, and that could take us all of a month, could take us all of 6 months. But the question is, how are we going to do that? Because our users sit on the other side of a set of earphones or a speaker or a screen.
So this is the thing, is when you realise your age demographic, you can then tailor your podcast or your business to that individual of that age demographic. So if they are 16, it's different to somebody that's 55.
But how do we know that it's working? How do we know it'll resonate? So this is where we'll do this is
where they track it.
Yeah, so this is where we'll need to start looking at data. We'd need to start asking different businesses. We'd need to just do a little bit of a data analysis, data drawdown, talk to different people, ask them to comment once we start this. And we'll keep you, I think one of the things we do want to do is we want to take you on this journey with us and say, this week we did X, Y, and Z, and this is what we've learned from it, or this is what we haven't learned from it. Mm-hmm. That's phase one. Phase two is the big word called market validation. That's what we're talking about here. Is this actually right? Is it actually working? Michael said, is our time, do we spend too much time? Is half an hour too long? It's 20 minutes too long, because people are used to short form content. They're only used to 10, 15 minutes, watching reels of a minute.
I think that's good, because when you look at a podcast for an hour and 20 minutes, I'm saying to myself, who the hell's got an hour and 20 minutes in their day? to listen to a podcast. Now, you might do that at night time, or you might do that while you're driving, but wouldn't it be better just to have an engagement of 25 minutes for, bang, right in your face podcast?
I'm even thinking shorter. I'm thinking 15 to 20 minutes.
So then they can just go to the next one if they have the time.
If they have the time.
Exactly. But that's where you test it and see.
And yeah, so there's a lot of testing involved. There's no, and I will say to you, there is no right or wrong. And lots of times people go to big marketing agencies and they have an idea, but they also still have to test. They have to test it. So would you get it right? Yes, eventually you would get it right. But you'd be paying for it from your time instead of depleting your cash flow.
Simple one, as I said before, just at the start, ask people what made them phone you, what made them come into your shop, what makes them come to you. Out of that whole street of shops or that all the businesses online, what made you pick me?
What
and
if
it could
they
be
say
something really simple?
What if they say just price? Sorry. What if they say, no, it's price. I just want a quote. Lack of a better example.
You want to, okay, totally understand. So I can give you a quote, what are you actually looking for? So you're trying to create the order value by figuring out, because let's be honest, that might not be the thing for you. We might not be for you. So I really need to find out a little bit more in order to make sure I'm giving you the correct thing for you.
That's your ideal client.
Yeah.
You're looking at your ideal client, and if price is the thing that's driving them, then they're probably not your best client because they don't see any value in what you're doing.
So remember this thing, I can't remember the guy's name, and it's about sales, and it was just, the people must have been cringing after this. So they opened up a shop, a retail shop, and made it look simplistic and stylish and sleek, right? And what they did is they got all the clothes, I don't know if it was from Target or whatever, and the shoes for $5. And all they did was they put nice fancy lights, all white gloss and marble floors in, and they started charging them £600. And people, they were inundated with people coming in. And they were getting these designers to talk about the shoe and go, oh my God, this is such a design. Look, it's just so comfortable. And they're $5 shoes.
Yeah.
They've just bought them from another shop. So the whole thing is a misconception. It's the placebo, it's the psychology of everything. But why did people go there? They were driven by price because it was more expensive. The shop looked palatial. So you actually have to create.
It's your value proposition. It's the perception of what value do you create for people.
So you break that down into another sector. Somebody's walking dogs. Somebody's cutting hair. Somebody's a gardener. You have to look, there's a visual. You have to look at the visible selling tactic, the vocal tactic. That's one thing, because people will buy with their eyes and some people buy with their ears. So you really need to figure out what it is you're selling and why people are coming to you.
So here in the Great Scotland in Edinburgh, you walk through the Mulberries to St Andrew's Square.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a sales sign in any one of those high-end stores?
No.
Why?
Because they don't believe in that.
Yeah. So they understand that if you have to drop your price to sell, you erode the value of the brand. Now, they can do that because they're 50, 60, 7-year-old businesses, okay? But when you start in business, you are very, very tempted to say, yes, sir, we'll do everything to you because you need to generate cash. Yeah. So then there's nothing wrong with that. But this is an evolution process, because a client that buys from you on price, never the right, because he's going to find things. So, they buy a Vauxhall Corsa, but they expect a Rolls Royce. Mm-hmm. That's the problem that you have when you sell on price, is the expectation versus the deliverable. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's like ordering a Rolex and then it stops working. If you order a Rolex, you expect it to work, you expect it to last. You don't expect things to happen to it. Mm-hmm. So it's about understanding that psychological drivers, and that's why it's important to understand who your customer is, because not every customer is the right customer for you.
I think that's so important when you talk about that at the very beginning, because some people say, why do I need to know my ideal client? It's purely because there's a meaning to it, and this is the meaning, because you need to figure out who your best client is. Once you've started your business and you've been along the road for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it is, you need to be able to answer that question. Who's your ideal client? Male, female, how old, how much money are they spending? How old are they? Where do they hang about? What's their job? What kind of car do they drive? What kind of clothes do they like?
So you say such a true thing there. When Apple launched their Apple Watch. And he said, iWatch. And it was an Apple Watch. Do you know where they went to? So the logical place would be they go to other watch shops. They go to places like Rolex, Tag Heuer, Patek Philippe. They go there because it's a high-end brand. They didn't. They went to places like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, because they wanted to get into the mindset of those customers, because Apple doesn't discount their watches. Okay? No. So they bought something different. So again, another example, EasyJet. EasyJet needed to learn how to turn planes around quicker, because when that plane is not flying, or it needs to do so many trips a day to make it viable, they went to Formula One. 10 years ago, a pit stop was like maybe 10 seconds, 7 seconds. Today, a pit stop is 3-4 seconds. So every year you shave off little bits, and you become more efficient and more effective. And that's what you need to do. You need to go start understanding, where do your clients buy? Where do they hang out? What do they buy? And sometimes the best place to do it is in the Asda, or the Tesco's, or the Aldi, or the Lidl, or the Sainsbury's. And look at what they put in their trolleys.
Still, you know, that's 6 sponsors. You're doing 50 quid each.
Just a shout out there. But understand where your clients are buying from. I think.
Well, you look at the value for the podcast just now, for the people that have helped us out and still doing that. We gave them something back in return on Thursday evening. And that was putting a mix of people into a room that wouldn't generally
connect,
go connecting with people that don't necessarily all go to networking. And the ones that have gone to networking, they generally found it was more relaxed, more relatable. And that's where the magic happens. Once something's really structured and a bit too formal, it becomes a bit fake in my mind.
And I think the fact that we could move around and everybody's got a chance to speak to everybody, there was no structure to it, but there was lots of good laughs.
Lots of good laughs. Well. Like, there's a lot of connections made. And
I think it's making that connection, because you never know where that's going to lead to.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is because some people go, short game or long-term game. I would like to think the people in that room on Thursday go, right, what am I going to do after this? After meeting, because 9 times out of 10, you don't normally go for a pint and a meal with somebody when you've not known them. It's about a coffee, getting to know them roughly. But the inhibitions happen when people get a glass of wine, they start talking about family, kids, and it just
something
becomes
relatable.
So relatable. And I always find that's where the magic happens. So what are these guys doing now? We give them that platform. It's now about what they do after that.
Post the event.
Need to follow up.
So it is interesting when you look at your clients. Okay, when a client comes to you the first time, clients go on a journey, and we spoke a little bit about it. They need to be aware of you, then they need to consider you, then they need to make a decision. Just those 3 things, okay? But we want to go from meet to trust in one single meeting. Doesn't work like that. They need to meet you. They need to get to know you. And they'll either like you or they won't like you. It's that's it, before they trust you. Because if somebody just walks through the door, how do they know they can trust you?
Can I ask you something?
Oh.
Feel free.
So it's really, really, and I want your honest opinion here, because I did say that when we were at the networking. Why did you sit with that person? Or was it just unlucky, or did you just take a chance? Because when I said it before, for a laugh, because I knew everybody's standing there psychologically, they're going, oh, fuck, who am I going to sit with? You're making decisions constantly, every single day. So why did you sit with that person?
I chose to sit with people that I haven't met before, because it gave me new exposure. It gave me just different conversations. And it was some really, really interesting conversations, some good laughs, but you get a better understanding of different people, because I did know some of the people in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so my natural default would be to just stick to them or sit with them. But I made a conscious decision to just sit where I sit and have different people surround me. And that was really interesting, because I get a different perspective. They get a different perspective. We share some good stories. So I think very quickly you could fall into that trap where you just stick with the same people. Mm-hmm. And I would say broaden your horizons.
What about you, Mike?
So I chose my seat before anybody sat down.
So you had to say, who likes me?
That's what I done. I was like, instead of me choosing to go and sit with people, I just said, I'm going to sit here and then see whoever comes round. So
how did you end up? Or did you just get the last seat?
I ended up with Steve, who's obviously got some nightclubs and like very interesting guy.
Very, very
He's
interesting
going
guy.
to come on the podcast.
Yeah,
So
shout out to
I'm
Big
sure we'll get a
Steve.
few stories off of him.
I'm sure.
So that was my plan.
I was, I just wanted everybody to sit where they wanted to sit, and then I would just pick the last one. Oh, well, I was stuck at the end, but I was more focused on where everybody else was going to go. Sit with them. I would have, I would have sat with anybody and just got a belly of laughs anyway.
I think, you know what, it's in the places that you least expect it.
Yeah,
It's in
because
the places-
you prejudge sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I think we do a lot of networking. And it's often interesting when you walk into a room to see how people congregate and how the same people want to be in the same area. It's always interesting for me to watch it. And it just break the mold. You know, you talk to everybody, you get to know everybody. It just becomes really, really interesting.
And there was things in my head where I go, do I put labels on everybody? Like number ones and number twos, and then you've all got to chat. Like number threes, I've got to talk to number fours. You know, it's just basically breaking down people and forcing them to do something that's a little bit more uncomfortable. But that night was just great. Everybody was chin wagging. There was wee pockets here, and they were all crossing over. Fantastic, and it's great credit. Well, great credit to Alberto Carollo for the event. I mean, the venue was stunning.
Yeah.
And
food.
look, it was a great day. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, the sun was shining. How often does that happen to us?
And the roof was up. Like,
The roof's open.
Oh, you're actually taking the roof off in Scotland.
We're all actually wearing t-shirts.
It's
Oh,
nice we'll
my
get
head.
the roof up, but we're like, yeah.
Aye,
That'll be a
that
thing.
will probably not be happening. It did.
It was gorgeous.
But it's interesting. And while we're talking about this networking is in that second validation phase. Because what we're doing is we're validating that we are actually building connections.
Yeah.
That we are creating something of value. And very often you want to jump from not even understanding your new customer. You want to jump from not understanding who your customer is straight to the third or the fourth phase, social media. Because you think everybody's going to be aware of you. And it's a great awareness creation tool. Don't get me wrong.
But it's the same as what you're saying with the audience.
Yeah.
Like I speak to a lot of investors of property and bit of mentor on that side, and it's like you need to look at the strategy that you've got. There's no point in you looking at 1 bedrooms up to 4 or 5 bedrooms and just scattering and looking at everything. You know, what you're actually looking to get to buy here, and that's where you just concentrate on. So it's a similar thing
Yes.
with the audience. Instead of wasting time just
Absolutely.
looking at everything. So if you're scattering everything over social media, what are you actually capturing with that?
You're capturing
And the
nothing.
time and money that you're wasting on stuff you shouldn't be.
It is that, because let me ask you something, Johnny. Do you like netball?
I
can say no.
I think he likes watching it. I don't know that he's that interested in it.
Do you know what?
Just going,
Do you watch
Netball.
cricket? Do you watch cricket?
Oh, certainly not.
No, why not?
Because it's boring.
It's boring. But if I sent you something about motorbikes,
I would watch it a wee bit. I'd watch a wee bit.
If it said
But
you
then
something
it's
about
like Formula
music.
One. It's just like phew, phew. Like don't even know who's in the car. I don't really see it as much.
so that would have been of no interest to you.
No, you're gonna find it difficult for me, pal.
No, I know it's
What
going to be
music,
difficult.
though?
Music, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so
music.
that music. So if I sent you something about music, you'd be interested.
Yes.
Exactly, and that's exactly the point we're trying to make here for ourselves, because we've had to have a hard look on the inside. Is what we're doing working? Yes, to a certain extent, but can it be better? And that's why I think it's where we want to be better. And if we want to be better, sometimes it means going back to basics. So we're going to take you on this journey with us of back to basics. We're going to be telling you what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be doing it. We're going to hopefully some good tips. If you've got any information for us, we're open to learn. Every day is a school day.
Yep.
And that's just where we are.
And that's a 23-minute episode. So
That is good. We're going to test.
let's just go for that and see what happens.
This is your world.
Shape it, or someone else will.